Hey everybody, and welcome to Bits of Board, where we're talking board games, miniatures, cards, and dice. My name's Michael, and today we continue on our journey through Kingdom Death's campaign. What are we in? Lantern Year 11 now? Wow! Today's hunt, no surprises here, is going to be the Phoenix. We're going to take some of our new survivors, some previously unnamed survivors. We're going to give them names, and we're going to send them on to take on this immeasurable foe. Now, we're choosing the young survivors because this guy has a habit of making survivors older, wiser, and then sending them completely out of existence. So we can't send guys with too much experience out. This is going to be a mad fight for sure. I hope you enjoy. Let's get stuck in. All right, first cab off the ranks today, we have our newbie, Dorian. He's not so new anymore, is he? He's actually going to be leading a lot of our untested survivors into the hunt today. Now, he's got the Monster Tooth necklace there, which grants him 1 strength token, and he's got the connected affinities on the White Lion boots, which give him that +1 movement. He'll be rocking the Butcher's Cleaver today. That'll be his weapon of choice. But it never really hurts to bring a dagger with the White Lion gear because of that wonderful pounce ability. Plus, we do get those extra affinities out of it for the White Lion boots and the necklace as well, which is great. Just to top off his armor, he's got the round leather shield. So I'm not saying unkillable. I could never say unkillable against the Phoenix, but it's going to be a fair bit of damage to take him down. The first of our new survivors, we have Six. Now, we might have heard Six's name before. She has 1 Hunt XP from one of those shared experience events. She's got a +1 evasion token for her connected affinities on the Rawhide vest. And thanks to the Rawhide armor, she's going to be collecting a fair chunk of survival. And not to mention the dried Arcanthus and Stone Noses there either. Fenton. Oh. Finally, she's going to be heading to battle with the Scrap Sword, and thanks to all of the affinities we've got across the way, 1 red, 1 blue, and another red over here, that Scrap Sword gains Deadly, a wonderful weapon to have here. Our next new survivor is Eris, and we're going to be testing out a new weapon with her today. I'm not sure if it's actually going to be a good idea to test such a new weapon with such a powerful monster being the Phoenix, but hey, when in Rome. So the Hunter's Whip, thanks to our 2 connected blue affinities here, we get this little ability on a perfect hit, discard 1 mood in play. I'm not actually sure how useful that's going to be, but we're playing anyway. Now, those blue affinities also benefit the Lucky Charm, which grants 1 additional luck. And then we've got the Whisker Harp over there, granting 1 survival to all survivors on arrival. Now, this is also the first time we get to see the leather gear, the full set of that going on. Nothing too special going on here. We get that +1 armor to each of the hit locations, but we also gain this extra ability where we can ignore bash. Now, I don't have anything that's going to give her bash. There are some fighting arts floating around, and that it's actually a brain trauma, but I'm sure we'll see more use out of this a little bit later on down the track. Lastly, we have our Bowman Wren. This guy is rocking the full Screaming armor set here, although he's not actually doing anything with the affinities, which is a bit of a shame. The main point here is we've got the Catgut Bow, our Clawhead Arrow, our Hollow Point Arrow, and if we really need it, the Founding Stone. Now, just before we head off, I've done a quick swap around of some stuff, because as I was filling in all of the numbers on the character sheets, I realized I had done a terrible job here. So I've swapped out Wren's Founding Stone for the dried Arcanthus. This way, on arrival, he will actually have a full supply of survival. Now, that Arcanthus came from Six here, and instead of her keeping the Founding Stone, I gave her the round leather shield, which bumps up her armor from a measly 2 points to 3 points. Much nicer. And of course, that means Dorian is left with the Founding Stone because he's given up his shield to protect someone in need. Aww. Alright, that's it. Now we're done. Let's head off. Alright, so our survivors head off. First step for them is this random hunt event. So let's roll and see what we get. Alright, that is 90. Alright, what do we get? Light on the horizon. The survivors hear a screeching howl followed by a crash. They see an explosion of multicolored light on the horizon. The unnatural light illuminates the survivors' way. If at least one survivor is insane, they follow the light. You may re-roll the next result on the hunt event table. Cool. If all survivors are insane, they turn away from the light, walking into the darkness. Move the survivors 2 spaces back on the hunt board. Regardless of what the survivors do, the light reaches the settlement. Add the lights in the sky settlement event to the timeline next year. Awesome. I think that's the one that we had not so long ago where good things happened. Wow. Awesome. Unfortunately, it looks like all of our survivors are insane, so we'll move them back to the start. How about that? Kind of worth it though. Again, we move into that first space. Let's see what sort of event we get this time. Come on, something good. 66. Uh-oh. Forbidden word. There is a great rush of air. A booming, inhuman voice declares a single word in an unknown language. For one instant, the survivors understand. All non-deaf survivors gain +1 understanding and suffer 1 brain event damage. If they're insane, they also gain 1 random disorder. Oh, wow. Alright, so both Ren and Dorian are still insane. So let's grab their disorders. And Dorian, we get hyperactive. Whether you are running, fiddling with your gear, or pacing, you are always moving. During the showdown, you must move at least 1 space every round. Man, I hope I can remember that. All right, let's head to our first Phoenix Hunt event. Fateful Feather. The survivors pass a ruined settlement. At its center, an altar holds a lustrous feather. Its glow illuminates the ghostly image of frozen worshippers. Each survivor rolls 1d10. The lowest scoring survivor becomes a straggler. The straggler cannot resist grasping the feather. Let's figure out who's who. Now, no one has the prepared ability, which is granted from the bold event. So this is pretty much going to be whoever gets the lowest roll gets the event. That's not good up there for Eris. All right, next up, we have a 3. That's all right. 4 and a 2. All terrible rolls. I hope that's not a sign of things to come. Eris is the straggler here. The straggler instantly forgets the sum of their life. Set the survivor's weapon proficiency and hunt XP to 0. The survivor may gain the benefits of age again. Remove all disorders and fighting arts. Gain 1 tail feather phoenix resource. If we had the hour's ring, we may spend survival to save the straggler, but this is actually not so bad. Mainly because she doesn't actually have any hunt XP. Cool. Onward we go. The Phoenix is so close now. Let's roll for our next event. All right, 79. We get the Dying Small Prospector. If your settlement already has a portcullis key, the prospector is gone. Roll again on the hunt event table before moving on the hunt board. The survivors discover a body slumped against a large stone face. Moving closer, they find a small dying prospector, riddled with arrows. As they approach, he growls a warning, threatening them with a huge stone shard. When he sees that they are not evil monsters, he calms down and gives them the key. With his dying breath, he says, "This is the key to the portcullis. Without it, you will never get through. Record the portcullis key on the settlement record sheet notes. If the settlement has graves, the event revealer builds a small monument of broken stone noses and gains +1 understanding." Awesome. I didn't actually pick a hunt revealer, so I think Dorian is going to be it because he's the most, experienced hunter here, so he'd be leading the way at this point. And with that, he gains his 3rd understanding, which means insight. Alright, so we gained this during the hunt phase. So Dorian gains the Explore ability. You dream. Before you, toiling silently, a strange creature with the imprint of a human face sculpts stone faces into the ground. You meet its concave gaze and wake. Gain the following ability and roll on the table. So he gets Explore. When he investigates, add +2 to the result. Let's roll for his ability. 1d10. We get a 1. Re-roll 1 hunt event result this hunt phase. May not come in handy. Oh, let's move on to the last of the Phoenix Hunt events. What do we get? Fertile Field. The survivors approach a writhing field littered with phoenix droppings. Twisted up through the rocks, some Arcanthus plants grow vigorously, while others wither and disintegrate before their eyes. All survivors suffer 3 brain event damage and gain +1 understanding. Ow! If any survivor has a bone sickle, they gain fresh Arcanthus, strange resource. If any survivor has the scavenger kit, they gain muculent droppings. We don't, and now we have to finish off with a random hunt event. Firstly, let's deal with this brain event damage. This sucks. That has left 3 of our survivors without any insanity. One of them being Dorian, who is trying to handle the Butcher's Cleaver. This is not good. Luckily for him, he's got the dagger, but still. Ren, Eris, and Six all gain their 3rd point of understanding, each of them gaining the Explore ability, which is going to help with their investigation rolls. Let's roll for their Insight ability. Let's try not to roll low here. We begin with Eris. A 9, that's what I'm talking about. Gain +1 permanent accuracy. That is awesome. All right, next we move to Ren, who gets a 4, +3 survival, and +3 insanity. I will take that insanity. All right, and lastly, we have Six. What do we roll for her? A 7. She too gains the insanity and survival combo. Not bad, not bad. I think Dorian would have appreciated that insanity, but still pretty happy. All right, we have to do one more roll for the random hunt events. Let's see how we go. What is that? That is 8. All right. Wailing smoke. A constant moan follows the survivors. Eventually, they enter an area shrouded in thick fog, and the wailing reaches a fevered pitch. Every non-deaf survivor rolls 1d10. If all survivors are deaf, they continue along heedless to the cacophony. The lowest scoring survivor, or survivors in this case, becomes a straggler. Each straggler rolls 1d10. If any survivor has noisy gear, the survivor adds +2 to their roll. All right. Again, let's roll for our stragglers. A 2. A 1. 4 that was. And lastly, a 7. Doesn't look like anyone has noisy gear. So it looks like Ren is going to be the straggler here. Pretty interesting though. I don't know if I can get it in the shot there. If any survivor has noisy gear and the settlement has drums, they counter the whales with a tune from home. Do not roll on the table, and each survivor gains +2 insanity and +2 survival. That's kind of cool. All right, so Ren is going to be rolling 1d10 on the table. Let's see what he gets. 4. The fog grows soupy and begins to wail. You plug your ears with your fingers, but it's hopeless. Suffer monster-level brain event damage. Ren drops back down to 2 insanity. And that is it. The final hunt event before the Phoenix. Our survivors move in, and let's begin the showdown. So here we begin our encounter with the Phoenix. Everyone's set up and ready to go. We've drawn some terrain out here. We've got these pillars and we've got the tall grass as well. The usual encounter, we have the nightmare tree underneath the Phoenix. And thanks to Ren's screaming braces, we've actually been able to put out some Arcanthus plants as well, which is very rad. This being a level 1 Phoenix, we have the standard traits: First up, we have Spiral Age. When he uses this, we remove any age tokens that our survivors may have received, and they will receive 4 Hunt XP for each token. If you gain more Hunt XP than available Hunt XP boxes, the survivor ceases to exist. We also have the Zeal trait here, which kind of boosts our Phoenix's actions. This one, at the end of each monster turn, perform a basic action. Finally, we have Materialize. Remove the monster from the showdown board and place it adjacent to the target. It must be placed so its base covers as many survivors as possible. They suffer collision as normal. We've got our survivors all set up, 6 spaces away from the Phoenix. Let's begin by drawing his first AI card. And we have Gouge and Feast. Pick target, survivor with the least age tokens. Well, currently, nobody has any age tokens. So we move to the no target, Disdain. Now, usually I would probably think, because they all equally have no age tokens, then, we'd just randomize. But then we wouldn't have need for that no target element there. So we go ahead and resolve Disdain. Place the Phoenix at the center of the Nightmare Tree. It emits a hissing moan. All non-deaf survivors suffer brain damage equal to the monster level. Perform Spiral Age and end the Phoenix's turn. So that is 1 brain damage for each of our survivors. Dorian and Eris are down to 0 insanity. This is quite frightening. Both Six and Ren are doing okay though. With that, we end the Phoenix's turn, and we check our Zeal trait here. At the end of each monster turn, perform basic action. Here we go. Closest threat in range. Everyone is the same level of closeness, so we get to choose there, and I think we're going to pick Ren. He does have some solid armor, and he's hanging around in that long grass, so this should go kind of well. The target gains 1 age token. So we'll throw one of those next to his character sheet. Oh, I should mention actually, we've got these cards here that kind of hold these tokens, but as an action, using an activation, our characters may roll 1d10. If the result is equal to or less than the insanity that they currently have, or remove all age tokens. Otherwise, they suffer Spiral Age and gain all of those Hunt XP. That's how that stuff works. Anyway. So Ren gains an age token, and then we move and attack with the Phoenix. So let's pop him down here. Now this is a speed 2 attack, and it would usually be hitting on a 2+. But Ren has 1 evasion, and he's standing in the long grass. So this is going to be hitting on a 5+. 2 dice. All right, we get a 4, and it's a 1 back there. So no hits, guys. A very good start there. But we have one more thing to resolve, and that is Razor Wind. Now, we check the blast zone, which is directly in front of the Phoenix. Survivors in the blast zone suffer knockback 7, bash, and bleed 1. You know what? It's not the worst. Ren takes that. We could potentially use that break in the flow to move him out of the zone, but it's early days. We don't need to get that into it. So he pops back here, suffers knockback 7, goes as far as he can, suffers bash and bleed 1. So we grab him a bleeding token. There we go. Land that on his character sheet. And that means we're into the survivor's activation. Let's go for it. Now, really, the aim here is to do as much damage to this guy as quick as we can. We do not want to be collecting these age tokens and potentially, falling out of existence. So let's get stuck in. Dorian is going to lead the charge, but he's going to do so maybe a little frivolously. He is holding that founding stone, so it's about time we just lob that in and hope for the best. We have a ton of these things sitting back at camp, and we've not been using them, so let's use them. The founding stone is a wondrous piece of equipment, extremely valuable in these hunt circumstances. We spend our activation to sling the stone from anywhere on the board, archive this card for one automatic hit that inflicts a critical wound. We return this to the box, draw our hit location, and we hope we have a critical wound on here. Yes, we do. Glorious primary eyes. This is a first strike location, which would mean something if we were attacking with other weapons. We're not. This is a single hit. What's most important here is we have a critical wound, and this is a doozy. The Phoenix gains -2 accuracy tokens. This is phenomenal. And I was worried about this. Here we have our 2 -1 accuracy tokens. Pop them down there. That is going to make it even harder for this guy to hit us. But that is not really what we're worried about here. We're worried about those age tokens. So we discard the top AI card, and Dorian pushes the attack running in. Now he can't... Now he can't attack with the axe because he's no longer insane. So we're going to have to employ the dagger here. What's awesome here is that he is 3 spaces away from the Phoenix, which means we can use the pounce to inflict as many hits as we possibly can. Now for this, we have to spend his movement point and an activation, which we don't have. So we're going to spend 1 point of his survival to get that back. Down to 4 survival, we now have a movement point and an activation, and we use his pounce. Moving 3 spaces straight ahead. If we land next to the monster, we may activate our weapon, but we get all these little bonuses with it as well. Just for basic abilities, we gain a +1 strength and a +1 accuracy. But because of our completed White Lion armor set, we gain +1 speed and +2 strength if we're attacking with daggers or katars. Daggers in hand, we now have 3 additional strength tokens and an accuracy token to boot. And we're going to be rolling an extra dice here. Now Dorian has +1 accuracy, and with that token over there, we're going to be landing hits on 5+. 4 dice, 5+. All right, we've missed with 2, a 2 and a 4, but these 2 are solid hits. We'll draw our hit locations. We get the Glorious Hands and the Glorious Soft Belly. Now the Soft Belly has a wound reflex on there. And that would have an effect if we had any age tokens. Currently, he doesn't, so we can just safely roll for both of these. We'll begin with the Soft Belly. In total, we have 6 strength, which means we're going to be wounding on 4s. Oh, what? Did you see that? I bet you did. All right. Critical wound, holy crap. Persistent injury. Open wound. When the monster draws an AI deck, roll 1d10 on a result of 1, it suffers a wound. Amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, that is a wound. So let's lose an AI card from his deck there. And we have the Glorious Hands. Let's roll again. This is an amazing dice. Holy shit. I'm going to leave that swear in because that is mental. Oh, this is my favorite dice in the universe, guys. That is far out. Okay. Critical wound. You sever a slender phoenix finger. Gain 1 phoenix finger phoenix resource. You may spend 2 survival to heroically bellow. If you do, all non-deaf survivors gain 1 courage. 4 courage for 2 survival? Heck yes, we spend that. And with that, Dorian actually gains his 3rd courage, which means we're going to be rolling for bold in the middle of our 10 rolling extravaganza. All right, now this is a showdown phase triumph. The essential difference between man and monster is a gap no human can overcome. You accept this and tap into a deep well of deranged fortitude. Gain the following ability and roll on the table below. Stalwart. Ignore being knocked down by brain trauma and intimidation actions. Sweet, that sounds good. Next, we roll with our wonderful dice here. Oh, all right, good things only come in 3s for us. We do gain a bonus strength token for this encounter. But let's be real, it's not as good as it could have been. All right, so we are 3 wounds in. Let's lose these. Let's press the attack with Bastion. He's only got 2 survival left, I know, but let's do it anyway. He drops down to 1, and we're going to be rolling 3 dice, hoping for 6s here. 1, 2, 3 hits. Fantastic. Chewing through it. We have the feathered breast. We have the glorious eye and the glorious chest. Now, let's see. All 3 of these have wound reflexes on them. This one will place the Phoenix far away from the attacker, so we're going to try and hit that much later. The next 2 have rewind effects, which will only go off if we have age tokens, which we're still currently age free. So we're going to roll in this order. Now we only have force strength included with the dagger here, so we're going to be wounding on 6s for this batch. An 8, a solid wound. And we would resolve the rewind, but because there are no age tokens, nothing happens. Well, except for a wound, so we'll discard one of those. The next one here, a 4, that is not going to wound, and no reflex there. The last one is the glorious crest, and we get a 3, which actually doesn't wound either. Okay. Now, it looks like it has turned to face the attacker before the wound reflex, so I'm thinking that we have to do that. So let's do that. Nice. That is the end of Bastion's attack here. Usually I would spend that last point of survival to have Ren, who's having a nap in the long grass, to possibly stand up and do some attacks, but I don't want to push myself out that quickly here. I want to use that just in case I need to move out of the way of some sort of crazy breeze that's coming my way. So let's move to 6's attack. Nothing fancy for her. She is just going to be moving in, and we're probably going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. Oh, put that back on there for the moment. And we'll be attacking with the Hunter's Whip. 3 speed. This is going to be hitting on 6s. Just 2 hits. That's pretty solid. Always happy with at least 2. What do we have? Soft lower gut. And the tail feathers, which looks to be an impervious location. So let's roll for that one first. The whip is 3 strength plus her natural strength of 1. We'll be wounding on 6+. 7 well, actually, no. No wound because it's impervious doi. This one here will be on 6+. Actually, it will be on a 4+ because that is a -2 toughness location. 4+. And a 9. Whoa, guys. 6 has a +1 luck token. That's a critical wound. Can't make this up. The Phoenix's belly opens, spilling a thick, foul-smelling ooze. Any adjacent survivors begin to vomit and are knocked down. That sucks. Bang and bang. Far out. Oh, these little things are so annoying. Okay, there we go. Now, the Phoenix gains this persistent injury, Time Leak. All survivors gain Age Eater while this persistent injury is in play. Spend 3 age tokens to gain 1 survival and suffer 1 brain damage. That's pretty interesting. All right, I guess we have to move to Eris's activation here. Now, we're going to start off by using 1 point of survival to have Ren stand, because at this rate, he's just not going to get an attack in at all. Cool. Now, Eris is wearing the Rawhide gear, so let's roll to see if she can keep her survival, and she does. And we're going to run in and attack with that scrap sword. Get in as close as we can. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna have to stop there, it looks like. Sorry, it's a little hard to see. I think that's correct. Now, Eris is going to be rolling 2 dice. The scrap sword usually hits on 5s, but thanks to her +1 accuracy, 2 dice, 4+. Let's go for it. 2 hits. All right, first we have the feathered neck, and second we have the glorious handed feet. Now the first of these, no reflex is present, but the second one does have a reflex. The monster's glare pierces the survivor's puny mind, causing explosions of pain. Turn to face the attacker and roll 1d10. If the result is higher than the attacker's hunt XP, they suffer 1 brain damage for each age token they have. Now currently she doesn't have any age tokens, so it doesn't really matter the order we roll here. All right, we've got a total of 4 strength going on here, so this is going to be wounding on 6s or more. A 1, no good. The reflex would go off, but considering we have no age tokens, nothing happens. We move to the feathered neck. A 2, oh no. Rubbish stuff across the board there. We're going to have to use another point of survival to surge. We need to get another attack in. Let's roll to see if we get the survival back. Yes, we do. Where were those rolls before? 2 dice again, 4+. 2 hits, one of them is a perfect hit. On the perfect hit, the edge sharpens and grants us +4 strength for the rest of the attack. Exactly what we need. That's a total of 8 strength, meaning we're going to be hitting on anything except for a 1, 2s or more. First location that we're going to be aiming at is the glorious wing sphincter. Oh, this is going to cause some issues throughout the encampment. And the other one is, oh no. Oh, this is brutal. All right, I guess it doesn't matter what order we're rolling here. Glorious wing claw. If it wounds, stuff is going to happen. A 6, definitely a wound here. What happens when that happens? The Phoenix blows everything away. Survivors in the eye of the storm gain +1 insanity. That's good. All other survivors suffer knockback 7 and bash. That's bad. All right, at least Eris has 1 point of insanity again. Nothing happens to her, but everyone else far out gets blown away. And no, Ren, you're going to be knocked down. Why do I do this? I should not have spent the survival. So they're back as far as they can go. Bastion over here, knocked back how many? 7. Wicked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is going to be off screen for sure. Good news is though, we do manage to score a wound. Love it. Let's roll for this second one. A 6 again. That is another wound. Oh, you know what I just realized? Crap. Eris, she's not actually standing in the eye of the storm. She gets no insanity, and she suffers knockback 7 for both of those. That means that second wound did not happen. Brutal. So we put that AI card back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and she's going to be up against the board edge as well. It's just a Phoenix there. Oh, all right, I think I got that right. I've returned the AI card back. This wound was never rolled for. Hectic. All right, with that, we move back into the Phoenix's turn, and I'll bet we're in for a bad time here. Let's see how we go. Peck. Last threat to wound in range. This is cool. No one is currently a threat. Everybody is knocked down. Since there's no target, we have to resolve that disdain effect again. Place the Phoenix at the center of the nightmare tree. It emits that hissing moan. All non-deaf survivors suffer brain damage equal to the monster's level. Perform Spiral Age. Let's pop him back up here. Dorian suffers his first brain trauma. Oh man. Here we have our brain trauma chart here. I'm going to roll a dice and hope for the best here. 4. Flee. You are knocked down and suffer knockback equal to your movement towards the closest board edge. Gain 1d5 insanity. Damn, that's what I'm talking about. All right. He's already at the board's edge, so let's move him to the corner there. We'll give him 1d5 insanity. 4 there. Nice. That means he's back in action with the axe too. All right. Next, Eris receives her brain trauma as well. Oh, We roll for her. Oh, not what we wanted, guys. Brain trauma, if you roll a 1, we get mortal terror. No ifs, ands, or buts. The survivor is dead. It's actually not going to be the end for her here. And not in a we're always going to remember her kind of way. I was going to go for this survival of the fittest thing. Once per lifetime, a survivor may re-roll a single roll result. They must keep the new result. That would be cool. But in doing that, I saw our society principle, accept darkness, add +2 to all brain trauma results. Heck yes. So that means Dorian's one was not flee, but instead danger seizure. You thrash about wildly, dealing 1 damage to yourself and every adjacent survivor. This is worse. Damn. Gain a random disorder and 1d5 insanity. Alright, well, we've given him the 1d5 insanity. He's going to need a disorder. And to top it off, he does 1 damage to himself, to the chest, and 1 damage to Eris, who's adjacent to him. Oh. Where does she get her damage? Chest as well. Dorian, what is your disorder? We get spiral ganglia. Okay. The roads in your mind cross and reveal a strange new path. At the start of Showdown, gain the Darkness Awareness Survivor status card. Maybe I shouldn't be using the expansion disorders. Let's grab a normal disorder. So we get apathetic instead. You cannot use or gain survival. You cannot gain courage. Cure this disorder if you have 8+ understanding. What? That is harsh. So just quick recap to bring us all back to the moment. Phoenix couldn't attack anyone, so he had to use disdain. That disdain caused 1 brain damage to everybody, which caused 2 of our survivors to suffer their brain traumas. Oh, that's where we're up to. Cool. Eris's 1 that I thought this was going to kill her, but because of our +2 to brain trauma rolls, it's only memory loss. Lose 2 levels of weapon proficiency. Guess what? She doesn't have any weapon proficiency. Yeah. All right. So she kind of gets out scot-free there. That's pretty cool. Ren has 1 age token. So we resolve spiral age here. Remove all age tokens. Here's Ren's age token and he gains 4 hunt XP. All right. That puts him at 4 hunt XP, which means we have to resolve age now. Oh. Alright, from here on out, or at the end of this showdown, he's going to be able to pick a weapon proficiency. That's lovely. We're going to roll a dice to see if he gets any bonus stuff. A 5. Oh, we're going to roll 2 dice. A 5 and a 3. He gets an 8, which for him is 1 random fighting art. Ren gains Unconscious Fighter. It takes 7 bleeding tokens to kill him. Okay. I think that means we're done with his AI card. Totally brutal stuff. Apologies for the wild goose chase there. Now we have to resolve his Zeal trait, which means basic activation. Oh, what the heck. Closest threat in range. Once again, guys, no one is a threat. 1 more disdain. Eris has to roll again on the brain trauma table. A 2 brings it up to a 4. What do we get? Flee, finally. You are knocked down still and suffer knockback equal to your movement towards the closest board edge. Gain 1d5 insanity. How much does she get? 1 point. She moves down and out of there. Nothing to spiral age, guys. We are back into the survivor's activation. And guess what? Everyone stands up. Oh. What a day. Apologies, guys. One of my survivors has just come off their stand, so I'm going to have to sub in. That means 6 is now going to be played by the Ripper lookalike. Okay, the show must go on. Alright, no point messing about here, guys. Let's get Ren involved and see if we can get some of these tokens back on the Phoenix. We're going to move him just out the front there, so he's going to be in range to attack with his bow. I'm picking the Clawhead ammo because that thing is so good. 1 dice. This is going to be a 6+, guys. Hope for the best. Yes, we just make it, squeaking in with a 6. We'll draw our hit location, and it's a trap. But for hitting, we do grab this -1 evasion card here. What is this? Time stop. The survivors are all frozen in time. All survivors are doomed. They cannot block or use fighting arts. The attacker is caught helpless. We perform a basic action targeting the attacker. All attack rolls hit on a 2+, regardless of any modifiers in play. Damn. Our minus accuracy tokens are not paying off. The Phoenix moves in. 2 dice, 2+. 2 hits. Let's find out where. Both to the arms. Each of these attacks lands, dealing 2 damage. Ren is reduced to no armor at the arms location. Almost forgot. I'm terrible with this. He does gain an age token there. And then to top it all off, Razor Wind. Survivors in the blast zone suffer knockback 7, bash, bleed 1. So both of these guys get knocked down. Actually, 6 may continue to stand. So we'll just pop her out of the way there. She's wearing the leather armor, which essentially blocks bash. Cool. All right, with that, we shuffle that hit location deck back together. All right, when in Rome, let's get those dice out of there, and then let's get 6 into the fray. We'll move her 1, 2, 3, 4, just in case we happen to get another one of those Eye of the Storm hit locations. 3 dice, 5+. Ooh, just the 1 hit here. Let's find out where. Hey, the glorious wing sphincter. Do I dare attack again? Better attack. 6 reduces her survival. Actually, let's roll to see if she gets it back immediately. Yes, she does. With that, she surges, and we attack again. 3 dice, 5+. Just 1 hit. And it's the tiny wing hands. Oh, it's an impervious location. This kind of sucks. We get a 6, not a 9 there, so nothing happens. And we move to our next survivor. Now, Dorian's pretty far away here. He does have +1 movement, so we might be able to dash our way over, maybe? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yep, looks like we can. So he's all the way over there on the board edge. So I'm going to dash him in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll spend his last point of survival to dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to be behind the Phoenix there. And we're going to be attacking from that blind spot. Thank goodness. And to top it all off, he's insane, which means that Butcher's Cleaver, that's coming into play. 2 dice. It's going to be 2+. This is cool. He's got 1 accuracy, he's in the blind spot, and he's got that -1 evasion token on the Phoenix. 2+, guys. 2 hits, cannot go wrong with that. Oh, the glorious wing claws. Bummer. We are not catching a break here, guys. The survivors again are frozen in time. Everyone is doomed. There's no blocking. There's no fighting arts. The attacker is caught helpless. We perform a basic action targeting the attacker. Let's turn him around. All right, so the target gains an age token. I won't forget that first up. Next, we attack 2 speed, 2+. 2 hits. Where's that damage going? 1 to the waist, 1 to the legs. Not so bad. 1 armor remains at each location. But then the Razor Wind. We get knocked back 7, suffer bash, and bleeding. Now the Nightmare Tree is impassable, so we can't actually get knocked through that, which means we just suffer the knockback, the bash, and the bleeding. Now Eris is last, and she is, once again, over there. She's not going to get anywhere near this for an attack. So we're just going to move her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is she in view? No, she's not. So let's move the camera. There she is. Nice work. Now, unfortunately, she doesn't really have anything much to do. She might as well, let's use her Rawhide Headband to take a peek at the next 2 AI cards. We have Ancient Stare and Wing Punch. You know what, both these aren't great, but I think we're going to try and go with the Wing Punch here. So I'll put that on top, pop that back down. At least we know what we're kind of up against here. With that, unfortunately, our Survivor's activation is over. We move back into the Phoenix's turn, and we draw his next AI card. Oh, I forgot. He has that persistent injury. Open wound. When the monster draws an AI card, roll 1d10. On a result of 1, he suffers a wound. So I think we've only missed this once. So let's just quickly do that. We'll roll. Oh, that's interesting. All right. So he suffers that wound from before. Let's do this turn. And it's a 3. So not to worry. Okay. Well, that means it's the AI card I don't want. Oh, well. It is what it is. Let's pick it up and see what's going on here. Ancient Stare. Last threat to wound who is in range. Oh, I hate when they do this because I can never remember who's wounded last. Look, I believe it was 6, wouldn't it? Would have been 6. All right, let's just go with 6. She gains 1 age token. And then Materialize and Intimidate. So first off, we take the Phoenix away and we pop him back down, placing it adjacent to the attacker, but we want to cover as many survivors as we can. We kind of just put him back down there, bang, landing on poor Dorian, who goes flying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Just realized I hadn't done too many scene changes, so I thought we'd push in a little bit there. The Phoenix now intimidates. We roll 1d10 and on a 2+, we perform Spiral Age. Target then suffers 1 brain damage per monster level and becomes knocked down. Top stuff. Let's roll. It is definitely a 10. So first off, we perform Spiral Age. Remove all age tokens and gain 4 Hunt XP for each token. If you gain more Hunt XP than available, yes, we know the drill. I think we're in the clear here. So that means 6 is going to be doing her first age milestone, and Dorian and Ren pass their second. We'll do them in just a sec. We'll finish off the card here. Target suffers 1 brain damage per monster level and is knocked down. She's not going to be getting up anytime soon. Oh, and she suffers a brain trauma. Seriously, whose idea was it to fight this thing? Let's roll. 2. We're rolling well on these. This is Flee. You are knocked down and suffer knockback equal to your movement towards the closest board edge. Gain 1d5 insanity. Oops, that is 5 insanity. And she's going to go straight to this board edge here like that. I mean like that. It's moments like these that I'm really glad we got the accept darkness principle, am I right? All right. So 6 passes her first age milestone, so we're going to be rolling 2 dice there. Bang, 11, which means a random fighting art for her. What does she get? But Ambidextrous. This could be good. All melee weapons in your gear grid gain paired. Ambidextrous cannot be used if there are any shields, two-handed, or heavy gear in your gear grid. Nice. Let's do Ren next. He's going for his improved reflexes roll. 5. That's one random fighting art for him as well. Kind of like these. They help us kind of focus our team. What do we get? Orator of Death. Once per showdown, you may spend your activation to have all non-death survivors gain +2 insanity. When you die, encourage all survivors with your last words. And lastly, we'll roll for Dorian. 14, that is one permanent strength for him. There we go. All right, so that's the Ancient Stare AI card done. We now move to that Zeal trait and we perform a basic action. Thankfully, it looks like we have a target this time, closest threat, who is also in range, and attack Eris. Down it goes. First off, Eris gains an age token, and then it attacks. 2 dice, usually hitting on a 2+, it's going to be 3+, thanks to her evasion. A 1 and a 5, so that just means one hit here. Let's find out where. To the chest, brings her down to 1 armor there. Finally, we have that Razor Wind, knockback 7, bash, and a bleeding token. Right, so only 2 of our survivors will jump back up on their feet. First is Ren, and second is Dorian. We'll begin attacking with Ren here, I believe. Let's fire that hollow point arrow, see if we can't inflict a -1 movement token on this guy. 1 dice, 5+. 5 it is. So, -1 movement, top stuff, and we get a hit location card. The Inner Face. This is a -2 toughness location. Not that it matters. This particular piece of ammo has strength 11. So we're going to roll and hope for anything that's not a 1. A 7. So we'll discard the hit location and the top AI card. Let's keep rolling. We're going to spend one of Ren's survival, dropping him down to 4. But this will allow us to surge, gaining our activation back. And we're going to spend that and his movement to attack with the bow. This is 2 dice, 6+. Just the 1 hit, and it is a solid hit. We hit the Glorious Armpit. Now this does have a failure, so we don't want to stuff this up, do we? 4 strength between him and the weapon. This is going to need a 6+. All I wanted was a 6+. Anyway, that is a failure, so no extra wounds there, and we're almost out of options. Dorian is going to move next, and he's going to spend first his survival to encourage 6 to stand. Next, he's going to spend his movement to get right behind the Phoenix into the blind spot, and then we'll activate with the Butcher's Cleaver. 2 dice, 2+. A 9 and a 9, 2 hits. We have the Feathered Back and the Feathered Body. Now the Feathered Back, this is the card that's going to put our Phoenix way out of range here. So let's attempt to wound that Feathered Body first. +2 toughness to this location. We have a total of 9 strength behind us. So this is going to wound on a 3. A 6, definitely a wound there. So we discard our AI card. Oh, it's getting close. We have the Feathered Back next. This drops back down to a 2. Oh, and we do make it in there with the 2. So we'll discard an AI card, but before we do that, let's finish off this wound reflex. Perform displacement. Place the Phoenix anywhere along the board edge furthest from the attacker. If the attacker has any age tokens, they may attempt to follow the Phoenix. Unfortunately, he's all out. That is a shame. Let's take our giant bird, and I've placed him in the bottom corner, far away. Now this wound means we're going to be reshuffling the AI deck here, so let's just give them a quick shuffle and we'll get rid of one of those. Only 2 cards left in the AI deck, which means 3 wounds and we're done. Alright, so we managed to get 6 up on her feet, but she is pretty far away. Can we dash over? 10 we can. 10 spaces away. We can move, we can dash. This is brilliant. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We spend 1 point of survival and continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fantastic. So she attacks. 3 dice. We've got 5+ here. 1, 2, 3 hits. This is excellent. 1. Oh, sorry. The glorious hands. 2. The feathered neck. And 3. The glorious eye. Now there's just 1 reflex on here, and that's a wound reflex on the glorious eye. If the attacker has any age tokens, they suffer rewind. She does not. All 3 of these are reflex free. Now it looks like we've only got 4 strength to our name here, so these are going to be wounding on 6s or more. 4, no good for the glorious hands. The feathered neck is next. 2, what are we doing? Lastly, the glorious eye. Where are our 10s gone? What is that? A 4, no. All 3 wound attempts there fail miserably. We cannot let that get us down though. We spend 1 point of survival and we surge. Again, 3 dice, 5+, come on. 1, 2, 3 hits again. All right, so we draw the feathered breast, the glorious crest, and the glorious handed feet. Now, the feathered breast and the handed feet, both of these have reflexes on them that fire off if there are age tokens on our survivor. We don't at the moment. And then glorious crest, this is a displacement one, which would put our phoenix on the wrong side of the board. That's going to be the order of our wounds. Now we are aiming for 6+ here. That is a 10. Oh, mackerel. Okay, so gain 1 random phoenix resource. You smash apart the monster's foot. In triumph, you may spend 1 survival to howl and encourage all knocked down survivors. I'm thinking that's a good idea. Let's firstly gain a random resource there from the phoenix. We gain Immaculate droppings. Good stuff. And I will encourage. Now this is kind of a butterfly effect here, a fight on the left-hand side of the board. Well, that's going to cause Eris on the far right-hand side of the board to stand. Ooh, I like that. All right, so we discard that hit location, and the next card of the AI deck, very nice. We move to the feathered breast. Again, 6+, a 9, and thanks to our amazing luck, both in dice roll and the fact that we have a luck token, this is another critical wound. The intense blow causes the monster's heart to skip a beat. The monster is knocked down. Now, this isn't going to have any huge effects for us right now because knockdown monsters, it just changes the way hits work. But it's still nice to get a critical wound. We discard the final card from the AI deck and we roll to wound the glorious crest. Oh, guys, we were so close. That is a failure. And that's pretty much the best I've got here. We move back into the Phoenix's turn. We'll begin by drawing his next... Oh, he doesn't have an AI card. Oh, no. That means we're not going to score any random wounds out of this. We go the basic action. Closest threat in range, that's going to be 6. She gains 1 age token. And then we attack 2 speed, hitting on 5+ thanks to those -2 accuracy and 1 natural evasion. It doesn't matter. 2 hits, they hit hard. Let's find out where. 1 to the legs, 1 to the chest. No worries there though, she's still got armor at those locations. Now she suffers knockback 7 and bleed 1. Boom. Now she doesn't suffer bash there, of course, because she's in the leather armor. It's the end of the Phoenix's turn, and we've got to resolve his zeal trait, another basic action. This is going to be another closest threat in range, and both Six and Ren are in range. So we'll move the Phoenix straight forward over here, and I'm thinking we'll have him attack Six again. She gains another age token, another attack. 2 speed, this one, whoa, is going to be hitting on 7s because of that tall grass. 2 misses, fantastic. Finally, both Six and Ren are going to suffer knockback 7 and bleed. Actually, Ren would have gotten this either way last turn. Even though he wasn't in sight range, this move goes as far down the board as we possibly can. Whoa. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and he'd suffer it again. 1, 2, 3, all the way to the board's edge. So that'd be another 2 bleeding tokens for him. Okay. Then Six gets this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She doesn't get knocked down, but she does get another bleeding token. 1 more for her. Alright, so if I've been doing things right, Bastion's on 1 bleeding token. Six is on 2. Eris is on... oh, she'd be on 3, and Ren is definitely on 3 as well. Alright, that is the end of the Phoenix's activation, and let's finish this off. Dorian, let's get in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get it right next to the Phoenix, and we're going to attack with that Butcher's Cleaver. 2 dice, 3+ here. We've got a 4 and a Lantern. 10. That is 2 hits. Find out where. The Hard Beak. This is a super dense location with a reflex. And we have the Glorious Head, which has a wound reflex. Now this has Rewind, which isn't going to affect him. And this reflex... ooh, that could potentially cause brain damage. Let's aim for that Glorious Head. We're rolling wounding on a 2+, guys. 8, and that is game. We do get that wound reflex here for Rewind. It don't matter. The Phoenix is dead. There they are, guys, our victorious team. We move into the aftermath. This is a level 1 Phoenix, so everyone gains 1 hunt XP, and if they're eligible, 1 weapon proficiency level. This is great for Dorian because it means he's finally an axe specialist. Pretty cool. Now, this also means we're going to be crossing 2 more age milestones. Dorian's going to hit his 3rd, and Six is going to hit her 2nd. Let's start off by rolling for 6. We get 11, that is +1 permanent strength. Next, we roll for Dorian, and that is gain a random fighting art. This is going to be his 3rd this Lantern year. Pretty nuts. We get, what is that? Clutch Fighter. When you have 3 or more bleeding tokens, gain +1 strength and +1 accuracy. That's pretty cool. Alright, nice. We're back into our aftermath, and we've just got to gain some rewards now. Survivors with age tokens gain +1 understanding. That is Eris and Six. Finally, we gain 4 basic resources. We gain a questionable resource, the Broken Lantern, a skull, and some monster hide. And then we gain 4 Phoenix resources as well. We gain small feathers, shimmering halo, more small feathers, and a wishbone. Cool. All right. With that little handful of goodies, we send our survivors back to the settlement phase. All right, our survivors return home, bringing with them 1 endeavor apiece. Now, can I just say that that was probably one of the toughest showdowns for bookkeeping ever. So many, there were events within events within events. It was crazy. I don't know yet because I haven't edited it together, but man, I hope I did okay there, guys. All right. With that being said, we have our endeavors. Let's update the timeline. We are entering Lantern Year 12. This is so cool. This will be our first of 2 settlement events this Lantern year. Our first is Haunted. The survivor with the lowest hunt XP, choose in case of a tie, is convinced a powerful presence is nearby. Well, Eris only returned with 1 hunt XP, so I think that's going to be her. We roll 1d10. See what we get. A 9, that's pretty solid. Does the settlement have Memento Mori? No, we do not. The survivor paints their blood in patterns all over the settlement. They permanently gain +2 strength and 1 accuracy and the following ability. Possessed. Cannot use weapon specializations, weapon mastery, or fighting arts. That's not bad for a new character. That's I guess they can be our all-around whatever weapon the heck we want to choose. That's kind of cool. That bumps her up to 3 strength and 2 accuracy. Fantastic. All right. Next up we have Principal Conviction. The survivors must find a reason to be. Treasure the darkness and all its mystery, or seek to master it and grow strong. Alright, so it looks like the group must choose one. Master the darkness or treasure the mystery. Let's go have a look at these conviction principles. Alright, so there's 2 ways we can go here. We can master the darkness or treasure the mystery. So if we master the darkness, we gain the barbaric conviction principle. Our people believe in the power of human strength to overpower any obstacle. All current and newborn survivors gain +1 permanent strength. Very good. If we go the other way, we gain the romantic conviction principle. Our survivors believe in the potential for beauty, decency, and ingenuity in others. When you gain a random fighting art, draw 3 fighting art cards and select 1 to keep. Solid stuff there both ways. What else? So if we go Master the Darkness, we add the Hands of Heat to the next year on the timeline. A wonderful, wonderful secret fighting art can come out of that. If we roll over here, we could potentially lose all of the goods in storage, but all departing survivors this year would gain +1 permanent speed and the Honorable Disorder. If we roll high, we can use the Thundercaller special ability, which allows us to use the 100 space in a random hunt event. Oh, that could be very cool. Who knows what mysteries that thing will have. Over here, we gain the Bone Witch. Oh, I don't know if I like the Bone Witch, guys. The settlement celebrates with an excessive feast, lose all resources, same deal, except everyone gains +1 permanent luck and the Prey Disorder. Ooh. If we roll high, we gain the Land Caller. Once a lifetime on the hunt board space, after overwhelming darkness, in place of rolling a random hunt event, use number 53 as your result. Alright. I'm a sucker for the barbaric path. This is going to be wonderful. We're going to have Hands of Heat next year. we gain this barbaric conviction principle. That means everyone gains +1 strength. Very cool. And now we get to roll on this thing. Let's see how we go. Nominate a survivor. This is the high one. Nominate a survivor. They gain +4 courage and the following ability, Thundercaller. +4 courage. I'm thinking Eva. She needs 4 more and we can unlock the See the Truth story event. She's a great character all around, so I'm sure we'll be able to get her out there for the Thundercaller event. Yep, let's do it. And with that +4 courage, we're off to the See the Truth story event.
The greatest courage is achieved when the past and future are abandoned. The void that remains is a dark, endless well of strength. Fear and pain are your nourishment, and you will feast.
Oh boy. You suddenly recall a meeting with a strange masked man who for a moment opened your second eyelids. What you saw filled your mouth with the taste of your own death. Suffer the blind, severe head injury and taste death. If you're already blind, do not suffer it again. Whoa. Eva's blind? I was not expecting that. And we taste death, so I'm going to be rolling on here. All right, let's see what we get. All right. So it's going to be sweet. When your second eyelids opened, the veil of darkness was lifted. You recall looking to the sky and viewing a horizon of titanic faces. Each face is different and peers at a different part of your body. Death was upon you, and a strange sweet flavor swirled around in your mouth. Gain the weak spot disorder and the following ability, Sweet Battle. Once per round, you may surge without spending survival. If you do, whoa, the activation must be used to activate a weapon. Crazy. All right, so she gains weak spot. All right, guys, almost done with these story events. We've just got the Lights in the Sky settlement event again. We score this thanks to our hunt phase for the Phoenix just now. A spectacular light show erupts against the limitless darkness above. Swirling vivid trails streak overhead. They lift everyone's spirits. The settlement's collective imagination is set aflame. After rolling for any endeavor, you may add +1 or +2 to the results. I'll have to remember that. Now, I'm pretty sure we have all of these now. Graves, we can innovate there to potentially gain a bunch of armor. If we have face painting, we can potentially grab the quixotic disorder. That's pretty cool. And we also have inner lantern, so we can innovate there. This is a wonderful... Oh, yeah, no. We definitely don't want to be innovating at the inner lantern. That Skull Eater event, yeah, not one for me. Although we do get understanding out of it. All right, that's pretty excellent. I will leave that there. Next, we update the death count. If anyone died, they didn't. And we move in to our development stage. We get to choose what to do with all of our new stuff. This is where all that tough decision making comes into play. Let's see how we go. All right, so I don't think we're going to be spending any of our endeavors at the Lights in the Sky settlement event. For no reason in particular, then I think we've got better things to do with our endeavors, but that's okay. We may need it for that +1 or +2 result to our settlement endeavors, so I'll just pop that there for the time being. I'm thinking Shrine. As always, it's nice to have that extra armor, although we didn't really need any extra armor against the Phoenix, so maybe not yet. We definitely want to spend maybe 1 or 2 on the Founder's Eye endeavor, which is a part of the face painting innovation. This may allow us to get a couple of extra points when we roll for intimacy, which is the plan with this love juice here. So we might put 2 of those aside there, maybe a third if we don't get too lucky. And I'm thinking here we might want to, well, innovate, I guess. We've got the required resources here. We've got some monster hide, a shank bone, and those mucculent droppings there. So we might throw an endeavor on there and innovate. All right, get that out of the way. I have our innovation deck here, chock full of all these goodies. As usual, we are going to be drawing 4 and picking 1. Let's hope for the best. First off, we get scrap smelting, nightmare training, sculpture, and storytelling. So we've definitely got some interesting choices here. Scrap smelting, that's going to allow us to turn scrap into iron. And if we have 6 bone and 3 scrap, we may build the blacksmith, which is going to be a place where we can buy some new weapons and stuff. Could be good. We have storytelling, which we've seen pop up a couple of times. It increases the survival limit and allows us to roll on the table. We get anything from understanding, insanity, or the white speaker story event. We have sculpture here where we can cash in one of our gained fighting arts so that other survivors may learn it. Very, very cool. Useful, especially if you come up with, you find a really good fighting art like Strategist, for example. And then we have nightmare training where we can spend survival and endeavors to train and quite possibly get a little bit stronger. I'm thinking we go for storytelling here. That survival limit boost is just too good. Yep, all right, lock it in. We'll add that to the pile, and we add our storytelling consequences as well. All right, next up, let's chuck an endeavor onto face painting. We're going to be rolling for Founder's Eye. Now, who is going to be rolling here? Let's go with 6. She was pretty excellent in that last battle, and she's well deserving of some children. So 6 is going to endeavor. Founder's Eye, let's roll. 4. And we gain +1 to any rolls on the intimacy story event. Brilliant. All right, that's one of those. Let's just keep that there as a reminder. We'll spend another one because we really don't want to roll poorly here. You'll see why we're doing this very shortly. Our next one, a 6. That's 2. Now, is it worth, should we stack this? Let's go for broke here, guys. Let's do a third one on there. And a 10, brilliant. We're gonna get +3 to our intimacy rolls, wicked. All right, so I guess we're not gonna be innovating at the shrine, that's okay. We are going to be using this love juice though to run into the intimacy event. Let's do it. All right, here is our table here, and we're going to be rolling 2 dice. And because of our survival of the fittest life principle, we're going to be rolling 2 dice and picking the lowest of the results. This is why we stacked those face painting endeavors. So we're going to be rolling 2 dice, picking the lowest result. Let's hope for the best. All right. That could not have gone any better, I don't think. So our lowest result is a 9. But that's as high as we can possibly get on the intimacy table. The settlement celebrates a twice fortunate event. A pair of healthy newborn survivors enters the world. The settlement gains +2 population. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. That could not have gone any better. I don't want to say we wasted our endeavors. I choose to believe that they they gave us the good fortune to roll well there. All right, so we get rid of those. Now, I just want to have a quick look at the plumery here. Now this is where, I'll just sort of zoom in a bit. This is where we can spend the majority of our newly acquired goodies. So here are the Phoenix resources that we have available to us at the moment. We did also get the mucculent droppings, however we spent that just before. Now, and what is it, the tail feathers that we got from the hunt phase, I'm pretty sure. Now, the small feathers, they would be well spent in a couple of different places. The Sonic Tomahawk, which I believe acts as a Qatar, I can't remember off the top of my head. We could also spend these to grab some of the elusive Phoenix armor, and these are very, very nice pieces of armor. The catch here though is that the armor needs leather to go anywhere, so yeah, I don't think we're going to do too well there. The tail feathers, we're going to need to save up a little bit more if we're going to get a feather mantle, and the wishbone, not even sure where we'd spend. Oh, there we go. The arc bow. So we still need to get the Phoenix whiskers before we can build that arc bow. So these things are pretty much putting into our little savings bank. Hopefully they will come in handy soon for these sorts of things. We also have this really cool piece here, the Shimmering Halo. Now this is used in the Hours Ring. This requires, of course, the Shimmering Halo and 5 organs, which I don't think we've got just yet. I think we just spent down to 4, or maybe even 3 with our spending our love juice. So we're not going to have enough to buy that just yet, but once again, we're going to save every penny we make here until the day we can spend big. So it doesn't look like we're going to be spending on any new equipment this lantern year. Alright, so we'll put the plumery away. Lights in the sky, thank you for all your assistance there. But it's time to move on. We finished our development and now we must prepare our departing survivors to get out there for Lantern Year 12. It's going to be a big one, I'm sure. Gonna have to wait till next week though. Alright, wow. That was a massive encounter. I don't know if you could tell, but it was pretty late when I was filming that and my mind could not keep up with all these events. Chopped it together nicely, I think, so we'll probably get away with it. Let me know what you think though. Wow, the Phoenix is just absolutely as brutal as ever. See, it's not the damage that's gonna kill you here, but it's rolling those brain traumas far out. I am so glad we have that Accept Darkness Society principle. The number of survivors that were rolling for brain traumas and got saved by that +2. Oh, fantastic stuff. I love this game far out. The only bummer is that I've gotten pretty used to fighting the level 2 Screaming Antelope, and that thing drops resources like nothing else. The Phoenix, this massive bird, we get 4 Phoenix resources and a couple of extra from the events and stuff. It's not enough. I want to get our full set of armor. I want to get all these new weapons and stuff. Oh, not going to happen. We're going to need to take him on again, and I don't know if we're going to have it in us straight away coming off the back of that. The good news is though we have 2 brand new survivors into the settlement, and I believe we can take them out right now, take them straight out to battle. So we may have to do that, but yeah, at least we are safe in the knowledge that our settlement is going to last a few more years. Getting very close to that halfway point. Oh, it's hectic, right? As always, guys, I really appreciate you watching this far. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. If you've got any questions or anything like that, chuck them down in the comments below. And of course, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure you like and subscribe. It's really important to me that this channel continues to grow and that, yeah, we just build on this little community we've got. It is amazing. Haven't quite decided what we're taking on next week, so it'll be a surprise till then. For the moment though, we are about done. So as always, my name's Michael, this is Bits Aboard, we'll catch you next time, and sorry for swearing.